Let me tell you something about programming. If you do not practice regularly, it will definitely go away from your brain. Okay, in the technology world, this is how you can learn programming. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 steps that if you take them, you will definitely learn programming, no doubt in this. So follow me along in this video, and also at the end of this video, I'm going to give you 6 tips that will help you learn programming even way more faster, and also going to help you to develop your programming mindset. So let me start with the first step. The first step you're going to do as a beginner that you really wanted to learn programming, choose a programming language. So in this case, I'm going to give you an advice. If you want to start learning programming, choose a simple programming language that is going to be easy for you to learn. Or you will choose a programming language based on what you wanted to do. Assuming you don't know what you want to do with programming, but you just wanted to learn it. So I recommend you to start with Python. But if you have something that you really wanted to do with programming, then choose programming language to that aspect. Let me give you an example. I wanted to develop Android application, then I will say go with Java programming or Kotlin. I wanted to develop a front-end website, then I will ask you to go with JavaScript, HTML and CSS. Maybe you wanted to develop artificial intelligence, then I will ask you to go with Python programming. So you see, based on what you really wanted to do with programming, look for programming language that is specifically or professional to that aspect. Or you don't have anything to you just wanted to learn the programming language, then go with Python, because it's very easy. That's why I say you go for Python. So after you choose programming language, now we come to the next step, which is how to learn that programming language. So when you choose that programming language, the first thing you have to do is learn the basics. In programming, almost all of those programming language, they are all the same. Most of the things that differentiate between this programming language and that programming language, it is just a syntax. Let me give you an example. In English, you will say come. In my language, English, when I say come in English, in my language, I will say zo. So they are all mean the same thing, means someone to approach you, but we will say it in a different way. In English, I said come. In Hausa, I say zo. In Yoruba, I say maybe, I don't know, but you get the idea. So it's the same thing with those programming languages. They are all the same thing. But the way you're going to write the code is what differentiates them. So your second step is to learn and digest the basics of that programming language. So when you learn the basics of that programming language, then you move on to step 3, which is work on project. This is what is going to build your programming mindset, working on project. If you work on project, a lot of project, beginner project, start with small project and build your way up to the highest one. Build a lot of project. Spend like at least 2 months working on different kind of project. I'm guaranteed you, if you did that, it will be worth more than learning the basics of that programming language, because working on project is going to help you a lot, and it will help you to know different kind of technologies that were related to your programming language, and it's going to help you to know what you can do with your programming language that you have to choose. So after you work on project a lot, then you move on to step 4, which is learn object-oriented programming. In this case, it's not everyone that's going to learn object-oriented programming. It depends on the career you choose yourself in technology. Let's assume you choose to be an electronic engineer that is going to be programming hardware, which is in a programming terms we call it embedded system. So if you choose for embedded system, in my opinion, you don't need to learn object-oriented programming. So then after you learn object-oriented programming, move on to the next step, which is choose your career. If you start at the beginning with the mindset of becoming a web development or back-end development, or maybe app development or iOS development, so this is the step where you're going to go for your goal. If you choose for a web development, then start looking for a web development roadmap. If you choose for app development, then start looking for app development roadmap. So this is how you will learn programming in 5 steps. But like I said, I'm going to give you 5 tips or 6 tips I said that are going to help you to learn programming very fast. So the first tips I'm going to give you right now is when you are learning programming, practice regularly. Wake up every day and write code. Let me tell you something about programming. If you do not practice regularly, it will definitely go away from your brain. So even those senior programmers out there, you see those professional programmers, ask them if they do not write code for at least 1 week. When they stay in front of screen and about to write code, they will start doubting. This is naturally for programming. So for you to avoid that as a beginner, it's going to break your confidence if you do not practice regularly, because if you start doubting on what you're going to do and you expect that I already learned this and now I'm doubting, it's going to break your heart. So practice regularly every single day. Just spend like 10 minutes, just write a simple line of code and you move on to your daily activities. Then second tips that I'm going to tell you is, this is from my own personal experience: learn by doing. Whenever you are learning programming, learn it by doing. When you are watching, for example, a tutorial on YouTube, then when he writes a print, then you too, when you understand what print statement did, then you too, you will write print on your computer. So learn by doing. If you learn by doing, you will quickly learn programming language very fast. I'm guaranteed you, and you will not be coming back watching tutorial again and again. Just keep moving. And the third tip I'm going to give you is join community. There are a lot of other programmers out there just like you wanted to learn programming. So go and meet with them to motivate each other to learn programming even more faster. And I highly recommend you to find a community physically instead of online. If you find online, you can join online community, is good, but I highly recommend you to go for a physical one. After you join a community, then this is my second tips, my fourth tips: keep up with trend. Right now programming is actually changing. Maybe you will start learning programming in this month, but maybe in the next month or in the next year, the way you're going to learn it is going to be different. For example, the way you learn programming in 2018 is different that you're going to learn it in this year 2024, because now we have AI, we have different kind of stuff that you're going to help you to learn programming language. So keep up with trend. Then my 5 tips: stay consistent and patient. Programming is very hard, let me tell you. It's very hard, but stay very consistent. No matter what happens, no matter how the pain you feel, just keep moving. Don't quit. If you're really serious about your career in programming, don't quit. No matter how difficult it becomes, just keep moving. I'm guaranteed if you stay consistent and be patient, because when you learn some programming and it's going to prompt you an error, oh boy, if you are not patient, you will quickly drop programming. But be very patient. This is the reason why, if you are not patient and you start learning programming but you stay consistent, then the patient mindset will be is going to develop in you. So stay consistent and be patient. And last but not least, did what we call atomic habit. Learn small one. Don't just say, okay, today I'm going to learn the whole Python programming language. No, start with small activities. Look for a textbook that has a syllabus of Python programming language, and then pick one, learn it today, make sure you understand it, and then pick another one. Keep on moving slowly. Don't just say, I'm going to move like crazy. I'm going to take a very bold step. No, don't do that. So these are the 6 tips that will help you to learn programming very fast, and this is how you can learn programming in 5 steps.